Right, hello, can you all hear me? Yep, nod at the back if you can hear me. Perfect. Okay, so hello and welcome. Thanks for coming along to this session. For the next 20 minutes or so, I'm going to try and catch up on the time slots, but for the next 20 minutes or so, I'm going to be talking about increasing conversion with valuable data. So hopefully this is going to be a good lesson that you'll all learn and be able to take away and use on your sites. So what this is actually going to start looking at the user behavior and the emotions and what your users are actually doing on your site. So a lot more than the Google Analytics. So to give you a little background about who I am, I'm the head of user experience at Pan-Centric Digital. We are an award-winning agency, actually won Agency of the Year from the RAR, and we've also just been voted into the top 10 elite agencies. During my experience and in my time, I've worked with clients such as Thomson Reuters, Comet, Silverstone, L'Oreal, BBC, Blue Water, and so on. So what is my role and what do I do? Simply put, I try and deliver great customer experiences. So I am completely focused on customer behavior, of what your users are doing online. And it's not just about online, it's about all touch points. So it's offline, it's email, it's how they're communicating with your brand and all the various touch points along the way. So to give you a bit of background about the process that we run, we tend to run discovery sessions internally, so working with key stakeholders, business owners. We look at understanding your needs, your user goals, and this normally covers an all-day workshop. So it really helps us understand what we're trying to achieve for you guys and what your users need out of the site. So, put simply, what makes me tick? Customer behavior. Again, as I mentioned previously, it's all about customer behavior for me. I love understanding the science behind what makes us smile, what makes us happy, what makes us buy, what makes us leave. And I do believe when it comes to an online world, there is only one way that we can collect this data. And once we understand what it is that's making a user happy, this is where we can start turning every individual into a potential customer. For this talk, I am going to just focus on the online world. So a quick hands up. How many of you actually know what your users are doing on your site, or think they know what your users are doing on site? So I'm assuming we all have websites. How many of you? Hands up if you've got a website, and hands up if you think you know what your users are doing online. Okay, wow. Okay, and just you at the back. I noticed you kept your hands up. How are you, or how do you think you're getting that information currently? Using Google Analytics? Yep. So Google Analytics. So most of the time when we ask this question and we get an understanding of how users are behaving online, the first typical response is, well, we use Google Analytics and we can see what they're clicking and we can see what pages they're visiting and we can understand the bounce rate and we can see, why they're exiting. So this talk actually goes a bit deeper and actually goes, does Google Analytics actually tell you what your users are doing online? Well, hopefully not. That's what I'm going to talk to you about. We're very fortunate at Pan-Centric. We do have our own labs. So throughout every beginning of the project, we're fortunate enough to be able to test our projects with real users in our labs. And this helps us understand that we've created something that is usable and is beneficial to the user and meeting the goals that are required. Just to give you, I suppose, a quick summary on the consequences of a bad experience. When we think of a bad experience, it's more than just one customer who's had that bad experience. If we think about how they communicate their bad experience, and I'm sure we can have another show of hands. So how many of us have had a bad experience? Raise the hand. An online bad experience. I'm sure we've all had one point or another. How many times have we then told somebody else about that bad experience? Hands up. And then it goes further. In this day and age, we now look at the communication that happens on social networks. So they communicate on social platforms such as Twitter, such as Facebook. They tell their friends, they tell their family. So that one bad experience for that one potential customer has potentially told 3 other people about this horrific experience that they've had on your website. So it's not just one customer you're losing. In effect, you could be losing 3 or 4 customers through that one bad experience. Right, so next I am going to play a very short video. This video lasts about 3.5 minutes. It's of a guy called Don Norman. He's a legendary UX guru. Does anybody know Don Norman by any chance? No. So he was the first guy to actually introduce the name and the title for User Experience Architect at Apple. He's now gone on to do great things. He's got his own company. But he makes a very valid point, and this is about design. This is about the simplicity of design on your website. And I think he makes a really good point. So hopefully you'll all be able to hear. Hopefully the video will work. Bear with me. Perfect. So it doesn't appear the video is going to work. However, I can talk you through what this scenario was. So Don Norman is more than just a black box on a screen. He starts at a conference and he's talking about such a simple thing such as a salt and pepper shaker. Now, hands up, we've all used salt and pepper shakers. Okay, so the designer of the salt and pepper shaker, just a quick test again, so a lot of hands up, sorry about that. Hands up who thinks the salt is in the one hole of a salt and pepper shaker, and hands up who thinks the salt is in the multiple holes of a salt and pepper shaker. I noticed you at the front put your hand up twice, so maybe you know where this is going. Okay, okay, so basically the idea is it doesn't actually matter what hole that salt in or what hole you think that salt is in, because it matters, and what matters is the person who filled those salt and pepper shakers. So in simplicity and in design, we look at making that life easier. Why should we, when we're using salt and pepper, before tipping it on our food, have to tip it on the back of our hand first just to make sure that really is the salt or that really is the pepper? Why can't we, for instance, make a bunch of holes in the salt and pepper shakers with a little P with the dots and a little less made of the dots? Why can't we make our life easier and make our customers' life easier? So the next time you tip out some salt and pepper, maybe you can think, oh, wouldn't this be helpful if it was a shape S or a letter P? That is the gist of the video. Don Norman probably says it a lot better than what I do. So please, by all means, go on to YouTube or any other video service providers out there and type in Don Norman and emotional design. He'll be able to share a lot more about this whole connecting with your audience and customers and making it simple for your users. Okay, so how do we get this insight that we're all waiting to hear about? Hopefully you can, how many of you know what we're looking at here as an image? Just hands up. So just shout out at me what we're looking at. Heatmap, yep. So this is the way in which we can use valuable data to get inside the minds of your customers. This is absolutely crucial to, and it goes beyond the analytics, and it goes beyond understanding what users are just clicking. It goes into how they're behaving online. It goes into what content they are engaging with. Before I get too carried away and try and get you all excited too much, just a fact on heatmap data. There is an 84 to 88% correlation between mouse and eye movements. So we know the data that we are collecting is what that user is engaging with on your site. Therefore, we can be very, very confident in our decisions going forward are correct and is going to improve that customer experience and is going to potentially increase your conversion. I just want to take you through an example of, this is our pan-centric website, and we're actually going through a redesign at the moment. And we've used this information and this heat map and this data to better improve our customer experience for our customers and actually our conversion goals, which is, our conversion goals was inquiries. There's many ways that this heat mapping tool works. It doesn't just focus on engagement levels. We go through a range of understanding what they're clicking, which isn't clickable. So unlike Google Analytics, where they tell you what they're clicking because it's clickable, we can actually look at what they're clicking that isn't clickable. So what does that mean for you? You could have a word in a piece of content that we know people are constantly trying to click on because they are expecting that to take them to a link that's relevant to that piece of content. We can also understand by looking at engagement levels where the fixation point is, so we can understand where the most engaged part of your site is, whether it's on that home page or that content page. So from that, we can actually make sure that your main CTA, your call to action, is where it should be on that page, where it's going to get that most visibility and where users are most engaged with. So taking that all in mind and looking at this heat map here, we notice some very quick things. The top right of the site, make sure it's right, yeah, top right of the site is getting a lot of engagement, which is good, which is fantastic. We know the current site, people are noticing that navigation. We can see that. The darker the red, it means the more of those users that have been captured are focusing on that spot. The lighter the colors, the less engagement and less focus. We also noticed, and this was very strange because statistics elsewhere suggest carousels aren't that popular. We looked at our heat map data and we can see actually the most focused area of engagement on our site was in fact the carousel. Another thing to point out on this that analytics wouldn't tell you is it wouldn't tell you if they're interacting with that carousel. Therefore, how would you ever know whether or not you should be putting your key call to actions and your key messages in the carousel? How do you know it's performing if you've got a carousel on your website? How do you know users are engaging with it if you've got a carousel on your homepage? So again, going more beyond heat maps, we can look at click maps. So this is where everyone is trying to click on the page. Now there's some strange clicks, as you'll probably see, that aren't even focused on the website. But there's some really important clicks. And again, the clicks that are focusing on that carousel item. Another interesting find for us was we have quite a few modules on the page. So modules are snippets of content information. And we can actually see there was no engagement with any of these modules. And again, by using this information, we were able to reshape our homepage and reshape our whole website in order to better satisfy the customers. We can look at scroll reach activity. So again, by using this information, we can see where that average scroll height and that average user screen size is. So again, the darker red is 100% of the users are seeing this. As we go down into the yellows, the greens, and finally the blues, we can see where people and how far people are scrolling. So again, this is more about understanding your priority of your content and making sure that all your content and all your call to actions are in the right place. If you have a call to action in this, and in our example, towards the blue, and that's your only call to action, then you can rest assured that's in the wrong place and users aren't actually engaging with it, and we need to change that. So this is great. We've got all this data, and we were able to turn around our site, and it's now being developed into our new website. Little plug, due to go live in hopefully a few months. So check it out at pancentric.com. But by using this information, the one on the image on your left is the new website. And one thing we noticed was that many users were trying to click on our clients' icons on our existing homepage. None of the logos were actually clickable. Therefore, no one could actually go through to read those case studies based on those logos. We also noticed out of all the modules that we had on our site, on our homepage, the only thing people cared about was our clients and who we'd worked with and our work. Therefore, we've managed to reprioritize our whole page to hopefully benefit the customer. And we're confident that this will, on this alone, increase our conversion and increase our inquiry rate because people are getting the information quicker and getting the information that they want faster. So, you guys, you've got this installed now on your site, and you're very excited that it's starting to capture this data. Just to recap a little bit about the installation. The installation of this piece of software there's two types of software. If you're interested, you might want to get a pen and jot it down. Is a software called Session Cam, and this does this particular study. And there's also another one, a bit more expensive, called ClickTail. There's also Crazy Egg, and there's various other ones. These are the two that we use at Pancentric. And this will give you this type of insight. It's a small snippet of JavaScript, much like the Google Analytics code. You pop that in, and it records site-wide, and it will start tracking straight away. So nice and easy to implement, and you can get this data fast. But what should you do when you've captured this data? This isn't about us going, we know 100% right, because we can't say that. We are never 100% right. The way we interpret the data is the way we interpret it by these engagement patterns that we're seeing. So what should we do with this data? We test it, we verify it, we make sure that we can absolutely say we can increase your guys' conversion. It's that simple. How we test? We go back now into the Google tool, and we use Google experiments, and we set up an A/B test. So we'll create a duplicate page of the one we're testing. We set a goal against those two pages, so whether that goal is to send users to your sign-up page, and Google will let it run for 14 days, 28 days, how many days it needs for you guys, depending on traffic levels, to start running that test. The best thing about this is Google will only verify a winner if it's a 95% probability of outperforming. Therefore, we can be very, very sure that we will only release our findings and our tests live if it's got a guaranteed increased conversion or a probability of conversion of 95%. I hope I haven't lost too many of you at that stage. Quite a lot of information there. I want to go into a bit more about increasing traffic doesn't increase conversion. What I mean by this is if your site isn't converting, driving more and more traffic to it isn't necessarily going to drive your conversion up. Okay, so when the next time you're thinking that your conversion is low and you need more money coming in, you do not, or the way of which we tend to do at the moment is we ring our search teams and we ring our help teams and go, hey, we need to drive more ads, we need to pay more on our PPC just to drive more traffic. Driving traffic will not increase your conversion if your site is already broken and not converting. So yeah, you need more than Google Analytics. Now again, Google Analytics is a great tool for us. This helps us identify these patterns. This helps us understand what pages and what parts of your site are failing by understanding bounce rates, looking at how many people are going to that page, how many people are dropping off. So that gives us our focus, to focus on that page and make sure, okay, what's going on? Where's the engagement happen? Why are people dropping off? What content are they reading? Is the content relevant? So it really helps us focus, again, on that content, on that page, our people and users and your customers engaging with that content. So I came up with an analogy to try and summarize what this tool and what this is. We call it at Pancentric the conversion optimization tool. We believe very highly that it works and it does increase your conversion. And the analogy is think pump, think petrol station pump, and it will be clearer. Now this is my analogy. No one has ever heard this analogy, so hopefully it all makes sense and you'll go, yes, next time I'm thinking pump, I'm thinking conversion optimization. So what does this mean? So imagine your site in the world and you're a new business owner and you've just bought a petrol station on the side of the road. The first thing that you get told and advised to do is put up road signs. So you want that traffic flowing into your petrol station. Yeah, so this is great. The petrol station, as a petrol station owner, you've now got people, you've now got traffic, you've now got customers coming to your petrol station and they're queuing and they're queuing and they're leaving and they're leaving. And this is great. You're thinking, wow, this is absolutely perfect. We've got traffic coming to my petrol station, making me loads of money. Aha. Uh-oh. Excuse the picture. The creative director got a little bit carried away when he was putting this together. You notice there's a problem. Your conversion is low. You're not converting. So you are driving all this traffic to your website. You're actually, in actual fact, you're putting up other road signs. You're putting road signs on the other side, this side. You're putting it 3 miles back, 4 miles back, 5 miles back. still, your traffic is flowing through. The number of cars wanting your petrol and to use your petrol is flowing, but yet you're still not getting that conversion. So you make a phone call. You call the conversion optimization squad to improve the formula. Now I have to use formula, otherwise this picture probably won't make a lot of sense, so I kind of tried to be a bit clever. Plus I didn't realize that our creative director put this image in until late. So we get called in, and what we do, we watch these cars coming in, and we watch their behavior, and we watch what they're doing. And every individual are pretty much getting out their car, they're picking up the pump, and they're going to fill up their car. We notice immediately they withdraw the pump, they put the pump back in, they get in their car, and they drive off. So this is strange. We've noticed this. We spent the whole day there watching this traffic flow in. And then we noticed something very interesting. Does anybody know where this is going? Anyone? Maybe? Okay. We identified 3 out of the 4 pumps were not working. So we had all this traffic flowing through, and there was 4 pumps active, 4 pumps ready to go, yet 3 of them weren't filled. They couldn't use them. The users couldn't buy what they needed to buy because they didn't work. So by understanding and watching and understanding where they're engaging with and understanding where the problem was, we were able to fix it. And it was really easy. All we had to do was fill the pumps. A lot of conversion issues are this easy to fix. So just by understanding this heat map data, by understanding where people are interacting with and not interacting with, we are then able to turn that little problem, whether or not it's a label on a button, because we know and we can see that people are hovering over that button and there's that increased engagement, but they're not clicking submit or they're not clicking go. We can look at why people are doing that, how they're getting there, and why they're not converting. And the best thing is, with these tools, we can sit and watch videos of these users using your site. When I said this earlier in the week to one of our clients, they actually thought I meant I could watch their faces, and so just to be clear, I can't. But what we can track is the mouse movement, and we can sit and watch those videos, and we can watch where that cursor's going. We can watch their journey. We can watch what they're clicking. And we get in the minds of your users and your customers and understand from that PPC ad to that landing page to that sign-up page what they're doing. We can funnel those users. So we can track every single user who gets to the sign-up page and watch their journey live and actually understand, well, what did they do that these guys aren't doing, and how can we make that more prominent? So conversion issues are often really, really easy to fix. They're not large, they're not costly, but having that insight and having that knowledge is absolutely crucial to your business and understanding your customers. It will tell you things that you would not believe. That's me, done. Thank you for listening. If you do have any questions, you can email me. You can follow us on Twitter at Pancentric, our website, pancentric.com. You can talk to me after, but I won't be at stand D60. I will be over there at C60. So if you do have any questions and you're not asleep and bored, then please come and find me and I'll be happy to help. Thank you very much for listening. Cheers.